Hello. So this is to review how to do the distributive law the way that the teacher has taught. Um, these questions are all from page 21 on the review book. This is number 15 and it's the first one we're going to talk about. Here we have the problem. What the teacher wants you to do is put a plus sign in front of every negative sign. In front of every negative sign that's in the middle. For example, you have a negative sign here, you make a plus negative 11. You have a minus 3h, you make it plus parentheses minus 3h. That's the first step. She wants you to put a plus sign in front of every negative sign. Okay? So you basically do that, and now you distribute. So you do 8 times 6h, you get 48h. You have an 8 times a negative 11, so that's minus 88, because a positive 8 times a negative 11 makes negative 88. Now you do 5 times 20 is 100, plus sign of course, and here you have 5 times negative 3h, 5 times negative 3h is negative 15h, okay? So, and then you just combine terms, you put everything next to each other, and you combine terms. 48 minus 15, they're opposite each other, so you subtract them. So that would be a 33 with a positive sign, because 48 is bigger than 15. And here you do negative 88 plus 100, which would be 12. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, it's that way. Now, if you have enough time, you cannot get a question like this wrong. The reason why you cannot get a question like this wrong is because you're claiming that this thing on top equals this thing in the box. So you write that down. Guess what? It has to be true for all h. So just make h equal to 1, substitute 1 into this test, and see if the two sides agree. So you set h to be 1, you do 6h, which is 6 minus 11, and then 20 minus 3, because h is 1. Here you do 33h plus 12, h is 1, so it's just 33 plus 12. You do the math, and you get the answer, 45 equals 45. So guess what? The chances of you doing this problem correctly are about 99%. So that's a great way to check yourself. Okay, this is number 2. We'll just go through these pretty fast. Here you have a negative sign here and a negative sign here. So what the teacher wants you to do is put a plus sign in front of every negative sign. So it's plus, and then you put the negative 6 in parentheses. You have a negative 4w, so you do plus negative 4w. Okay, once you do that, then you just distribute away. You get the 24w down there. Now you have minus 6 times 8, which is negative 48. And then you don't worry about that plus sign really, because it's just minus 6 times 8, which is negative 48. And then you do minus 6 times negative 4w. Negative 6 times negative 4w is a positive 24w. You just do that. And then you do the usual thing. You combine the terms. You put them next to each other. You combine terms. And you get the answer, right? And then, of course, you check it. And it turns out that it was right. Okay, this one. This is interesting. Here you have a negative 11 plus 9 plus 9 minus 3. So what this is like a weird exception. If you have a leading negative, you don't put a plus sign in front of the negative. You don't have to do that, okay? You don't have to do that. But if you have negative signs in the middle, you need to put a plus sign. At least that's what the teacher wants you to do. Put a plus sign in front of every negative sign that's in the middle. So here you put a plus sign in terms of before this negative 3w, and you put a plus sign in front of this negative 14. Okay, and then you do the usual, negative 11 times 9 is negative 99. Negative 11 times negative 3 is positive 33y, because two negatives multiply, make a positive. 12y plus negative 14. You just move the y's next to each other. You move the constants next to each other. This is negative 99 plus negative 14, which means you're negative 99, and you're adding a negative 14. So if you're 99 floors down, or 99 feet below the ground, and you add more below the ground, you add the two, and it's a negative number. Okay, so that's what you do, and then you do the usual thing. You can check it, set y equal to 1. You don't have to check it, but if you have time, you can check it. Okay, and then you will see, you will go from there. Just going up to number 4. Where's number 4? Where's number 4 hiding? Number 4, this is number 4, so we have this problem here. again, you have some negative signs, right? And then you put a positive, but here you have a negative 9, you do a plus negative 9. See that? Anytime you have a negative sign in the middle, you do a plus negative. Okay, and then you just go from there, 70 minus 40b, right? And then you have a negative 9 times 21b, which is a big number. You have to do that on the side, and you get negative 189b, and then this is negative 8, negative 9 times negative 8, positive 72. You do the usual thing. You put the terms next to each other, you combine terms, and if you have time, you check. Let's see about number 5. Number 5. Okay, here we have to have one where there's just a negative. See that negative there? What do? You could put a 1 there. You put a negative 1 there, and you go from there, right? See, you put a negative 1 there. Oh, by the way, in this one here, you see 21k minus 4 plus 3. You could do the 4 minus 3 or the minus 3 plus 4 first because it's in the parentheses, so you get a plus 1. Here, you just have a negative sign. You don't have to put a plus sign in front of the leading negative. If you have a leading negative, you do not have to put the plus sign in. Okay, but if you have a negative in the middle here, you have to put the plus sign in there. See that? Okay, and now here, this is the trick. If you have just a plain negative sign, you pretend that it's a negative 1. So you go negative 1 times 21k is negative 21k. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, right? And then plus negative 17. You move the k's next to each other. You have negative 21 plus another negative 17, which means the two negative signs, they add to each other. You're down 21 feet. And you're going down even more, 17 more feet. So you're down 38 feet. And then you have the minus 1. That's the answer. And then, if you have time, you check. Set k equal to 1, right? And then you do that thing. And now we're at number 5. So now we're just going to go down to number 6. And then we are done. Here, it's a similar thing. You don't have a number in front of here, so you put a 1 in there. And don't worry about that g squared. The g squared is the same as regular g. As long as those g squareds are the same, you can combine them, right? So again, you put the negative sign in front of the, you put the negative 1 in front there. I just put a 1 in front there, and then you put a positive 2g, a negative 2g, which means you have to do plus negative 2g. Here's a negative 57, which means you have to go plus negative 57, etc., 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 just like that. And then you do the usual distributing. Negative 1 times negative 2g squared is a positive 2g squared, because negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. And then you carry everything through neatly. Write in big type, very neat, and make sure every line you do one step at a time. You combine, you move the line, you move the things next to each other, and then you just combine, and then there's the optional check if you have time. That's it. Good luck on the quiz, and this is how the teacher wants you to do it. And good luck, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.